My name is Alexis Palermo, and this is my speech 4. I'm in my bathroom because my cat's in heat, and I'm trying to block out the background noise, so if you hear anything, it's probably her. But let's get started. Background behind the trigger. Guns have turned into such a problem. Shooting and threats happening left and right. There's been threats at schools and sadly shootings too. There have been 131 mass shootings just in 2023. All of the articles I have found are all from this year, 2023, and they are all credible resources, ranging from news articles to governmental websites. This problem is created by humans and a lack of background checks. But why should you care? For this speech, I'm focusing more on the school side of gun threats and attacks. We are all students and possibly have kids that are in school too. You want to know that you and or your child are safe in school. So let's come up with a way to fix this. I care about this topic because my degree is going into teaching and I want to feel safe while doing my job and have my students feel comfortable and safe as well, and not have to worry about the unsettling topic that is going on in our world today. With deeper and stricter background checks, it will decrease the amount of people owning guns and lower gun violence numbers as well, because it will allow background checks to see more about a person before purchasing a gun, such as past mental health issues, current mental health issues, and health issues in general. To begin, I will talk about the most recent school shooting in 2023 and why this is a problem and who is affected by the school shooting from the school perspective. Then moving on to a possible solution to this problem and why I think this would work. Like I said before, this is on a school perspective. So let's bring school into this. So many innocent people are dying because of the recklessness of gun handling and owning. On March 27th of 2023, there was a school shooting in Nashville, Tennessee. 7 people died and 3 of them were all students under the age of 9. The shooter was known to be being treated of a mental disorder or emotional disorder after losing a close friend. She was also killed on scene. This is not the only shooting we've had in 2023. Like I said before, there's been 131 mass shootings just in 2023, and 89 of these were school shootings. I'm trying to slow down. The number of shootings have increased almost every year. In 2023, there were roughly over 600 mass shootings within a 12-month period. We are already almost at 200 within 3 months. Not to seem cliche, but everyone is affected by this problem. With shootings happening almost every day in America, this is giving anxiety to teachers, students, parents, and so on. After a school shooting in Florida, students have said they are very or somewhat worried about the possibility of a shooter happening at their school. Most of the parents of teens share the same concern. No one should have to worry about a shooter walking in anywhere. Guns should be firearms and not weapons. Students are in school trying to learn. They still have a fear about a shooter coming in every day. The number of mass shootings are going to continue increasing if we don't change it now. But how are we going to change it? I feel if we do more background checks on a person before purchasing a gun, we can see more red flags of a person. Like I said before, including past mental health, current mental health, and any health issues that can delay a gun. It was recently changed for anyone under the age of 21 for deeper background checks. This process can take up to 2 weeks. But what about people that are over the age of 21? Yes, they give you a form that you must fill out, but they don't know if you're relying on this form or not. Yes, it can be checked, but normally they don't if you're over 21. And these background checks don't show a past of mental health. Doing background checks could show a past health issue and current. If someone has a past of suicide, then they should be unable to buy a gun. And the Journal of Clinical Physiology found that many mass shooters in the United States were living with an untreated mental illness at the time they committed their crimes. Having a stricter background check will decrease the amount of guns purchased, lowering violence potentially. If we could have caught these mental health issues before handing someone a firearm, we could have stopped these shootings from happening. Again, having a stricter background check will potentially decrease the number of gun violence and recklessness of handling a firearm. In 2019, by the Boston University and Harvard University, medical researchers found that U.S. states with a universal background check of guns for all the gun sales had homicide rates 15% lower than states without such laws over a 26-year period. Suicide rates dropped when more background checks were enforced. If we can keep pushing this, we can have violence and gun attacks drop dramatically as well. You may be thinking, what if someone has a mental health issue from their teen years and they are fine now and want a gun? Doctors are legally required to put mental health issues in someone's medical past, but they are also allowed to say if you successfully overcame this mental health issue and if you are still being treated for it. Your doctor is legally required to keep information about your medical history confidential, but that doesn't mean it is totally off limits. That is from the article by Screening of 2021. Just because your background check shows a past mental health issue does not mean that this can't be changed. If this is a possible concern, you can go to your doctor and potentially get a doctor's note saying that you were treated and now okay to purchase a gun because you have finished your medication or still on your medication showing recoverment. Now let's look at the past changes that have occurred when background checks became a thing. Like I said before, we've already seen change with suicide rates dropping. Background checks for all guns had homicide rates drop 15% lower than states without such law over a 26-year period. More gun control would reduce death rates between 1999 and 2016. There were over 300,000 suicides and about 220 homicides and 12,000 unintentional deaths. But there will still be negatives about this. It is more difficult for the law-obedient citizens to obtain firearms for self-defense. Not even no one is going to pass background checks. Not everyone is going to pass a background check due to these past health concerns. Another disadvantage of this is the Second Amendment of the United States Constitution protects the rights for all people to keep and bear arms. And adding this deeper background check is unconstitutional because everyone has a right to own guns. There will always be pros and cons about something, but if there are more pros, you should put it into action. Creating stricter background checks makes it harder to purchase guns. With this, we could end mass shootings and gun violence in any setting and place. In conclusion, gun violence is a major problem in our world, going from open schools to open fields. There are many things we can do to fix this, but we have to start where it begins, and that is background checks. I want you to see this from the same perspective as I do, and I'm not saying no guns. I'm saying not everyone should own a gun. We must change to protect our future, going from average workers to teachers and students. Let's start somewhere now to see a change soon. I know I rushed through this, but I see my time, but that is the end.